Hello, everybody. Welcome to Walking Purpose. This is episode 15. This is a special episode. So this episode, I decided to do it big and let me introduce y'all to HB Mac. This guy is amazing, amazing content. We have the same similar background, and the idea is us men coming together and pretty much breaking the stigma. This is open conversation between him and myself about breaking the stigma. Feel free to introduce yourself in case anyone doesn't know who you are.
Sure. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm HB Mac. I struggle with depression 9, 10 years. It was something that I didn't know what it was. Nobody never really said, hey, this is the signs of depression, or hey, you need to start talking to open up. So at some point I was suicidal about 4 or 5 years ago. And I realized the importance of just being out there and talking to people and expressing yourself, not just to people, but to the right people.
Yeah.
So it definitely turned me into a mental health advocate. And I just decided to go on Instagram and just tell my story, but not only tell my story, try to uplift people and spread their awareness, especially to guys.
Yeah. That's amazing to do that, because there are a lot of guys who are like you or myself, probably going through the exact same thing we've been through, or maybe worse. And to open up the conversation, let's talk about the importance of breaking the stigma. A lot of males feel like it's not okay for you to talk about your feelings. It's not okay for you to open up to people you trust. There are certain males right now who are going through what we've been through in the past, got these ball of emotions, ball of anger. Let's talk about the importance of breaking the stigma, pretty much, what that means to you.
It's very important. When I was growing up, being around my dad, my uncles, and my cousins, it was always so hard on me not to express myself and not to show like the emotions. And like even if it's sad and you want to cry, you keep it up. You man up. The term man up.
Yeah.
You're not a woman. You don't show your emotions. So when I experienced like death for the first time and trying to understand what that was, but trying not to cry, because if I was to cry, they would look down on me. So if I was to express myself, hey, I'm feeling like this today, or I'm not comfortable like talking to a female because I don't know how to, and then they'd be like, yeah, what are you soft, and other terms like that. So realizing the importance of that when you're doing that to a kid, I was just like, oh, I have to talk out and just let guys know it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like the suicide thing, like unfortunately the numbers are way too high. More guys attempt suicide than females, because some females are more open to like, oh, hey, this is how I feel, and you get that feedback of, oh my goodness, like I get it, like I'm going through this and that. But as guys, it's like, hey, if we ain't talking about basketball or football, I really don't want to hear it, man. So for me, it's very important to let them know, like, hey, it's cool, man. It's cool to just express yourself.
Yeah, that's a great point, because I experienced the same thing as a child. I was the quiet type, I was the introverted type, little kid, small, wasn't that tall. So I got into a lot of fights. This stuff, me being quiet, and people think I'm a punk, people think I can't speak up for myself. Because at the time I didn't understand what it was. I didn't know that I was going through depression at that age. A lot of times you write depression, you think you're grown up. No, a lot of stuff happens when you're a child. Mine started when I was in the 4th grade, and I got put into special ed class, right? So imagine you're in a class full of 20 people, right? You get pulled out of class into another class with 4 people, right? And imagine going back into the classroom, and your teacher, it tells you, you hear your teacher say, "Oh man, retarded kids are coming." And my 4th grade self, I'm like, damn, that hurt. And I feel like that started the whole trickle-down effect of me hiding my emotions, hiding how I feel, not able to express myself, being shy with females in the beginning. So I definitely can relate to, like, I want to talk to her, but I'm mentally jacked up.
I don't know how.
That's what you're thinking. I don't know how.
I'm doing that. I'm being awkward. Hi, and she's like,
right.
why are you up in my face waving hi? Yeah. You're like, hi. I definitely did it.
So you've been awkward, like staring at her, like, I want you to come over here. But
Yeah,
At the time, you
but I
don't
don't know
know
how
what it is.
to say it nice and
Yeah,
smooth. Yeah, nah,
you don't
I
know
get
how
it.
to be smooth with it. Yeah, and for
I
me,
struggled in school as well,
uh-huh,
because there's different type of styles of learning, right?
yeah,
And now that now that times have moved forward and the technology that we have, we can kind of break down. Okay, this person's a hands-on learner, or they learn just
yeah,
by reading it. Like, everybody learns differently. So
right,
I was more hands-on, but I was so timid to express myself. So like when I needed help in school because I didn't understand it, I never raised my hand. So like some things I used to like, when you read out loud, like, hey, can you read this sentence out loud? And I used to get so nervous because it's like the spotlight is on me. So I never knew how to handle that. So then like as soon as I start picking up the book or picking up the like paper and be like, duh, and then everything just like looks all together. So I just started stuttering, not because of, oh, like I'm dumb or something. It's like never in my life, nobody actually valued my voice. I don't know how to handle this. So I just folded. So they
yeah,
thought I had like a learning disability. They thought I was slow and whatnot. It wasn't I was slow. It was just one of the things of I never knew the importance of my voice. In my house, nobody really asked me for my opinion or
hmm,
really wanted to hear what I had to say. Like, yeah, my little cousins did, but it's different when we're all like the same age.
yeah, yeah,
But for an
yeah,
adult that's like trying to value my opinion, like, yeah, my mom or dad talk to me like, hey, what do you want to eat? Like stuff like that, but not as far as like, hey, I believe in you. This is like installing that like confidence of like, hey, it's okay, take your time,
hmm,
slow down. So yeah, I had the same thing because people were like, "Yo, something you can't read." It's like, nah, it's not that I can't read. I just never been in a spotlight like this.
yeah. Wow. I feel like we're twins because I went through the exact same problem.
Yeah,
And at the time, I remember like how like everybody is turn to read. I can read pretty
yeah,
well, read so good. And I guess at the time you're already feeling low about yourself, right?
yeah,
And you're already thinking the worst. We are our own worst enemy, especially as a kid, because as a kid, what how everybody else feel is so important to you, right or wrong.
yeah,
That's how kids feel,
yeah,
especially at
yeah.
that age.
You want to feel
And
validated.
you want validation. So at that point, I remember one day in particular, I went through the exact same thing, and we had to read a paragraph, right? And this is after the whole special ed thing, so I'm already feeling like shit, pretty much.
Yeah, of
I'm in the
course.
back of the classroom, I'm introvert. I don't want to be talking to nobody. If I got a question, I'm like, I'm not raising my hand. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to be in here. So I get to the point where I get up, I raise, and I get the, how you get the, it is there, that part. And
Yeah, yeah,
you're frozen, but you're worried about everybody else.
yeah,
Now by myself, I'm like, okay, going through the whole thing.
yeah.
I'm like,
No problem. No problem. Yeah, it's that spotlight. Like, oh,
yeah.
wait, hold on.
And then
I actually
everybody,
get to hear my voice out loud. Yeah.
yeah. And then everybody laughs.
hmm No, yeah,
So,
no, I had the same thing. I had the
so
same
I'm
thing. They
like,
thought I had like a learning disability, or they just
mhm,
thought I wasn't as progressive. Like on the test, oh yo, I got it. Boom, boom, boom. Let me get these 80s. Let me get these 90s. Let me get
yeah,
these hundreds. But then
yeah,
when it came to like expressing myself out loud, that's when I was trash. I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie. Not because I couldn't do it. It's just nobody really taught me how to really perform that way. Like a lot of people bash the teachers and stuff like that, but most of the work is done at home. And as far as home, like, my mom's working, my dad's working. So like, yeah, they checking on me to see, hey, is your work done? Yeah, sure. But they're not like, let me see how he's performing out
yeah,
loud. Like, my mom, like, hey, can you read a sentence? Yeah, sure. It's my mom. Like, yeah, I can read the sentence, no problem. But
yeah, 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 yeah,
when it's
yeah,
somebody else, it's like, oh, nah, this struggled. Like I
yeah,
had to, in fourth grade, I had to do the I had a dream. No, in fifth grade, I had to do the I had a dream speech by Martin
hmm,
Luther King
yeah.
in front of the entire school.
Ooh,
I said, hey, my mom's in there, and then like they wanted me to memorize it, and I was just like, this ain't gonna happen.
yeah,
This
yeah,
ain't
yeah.
gonna happen.
Right.
And I did pretty well.
Hmm.
The only reason why I did so well is because the advice that my teacher told me, act like it's just you and your mom in the room. And my mom was in the front row.
Okay.
And I was just like, okay,
Okay.
cool. I nailed about 75% of it.
Okay.
And then I got to a certain part and I looked up and then I hear like one of my classmates, hurry up already. And that's when the world just like, I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And I started like,
I
I went back to like that kid that was, and then I had to like, because I had asthma at that point. So I'm like hyperventilating. And I'm like, oh my.
Yeah, you're panicking.
And I looked up and I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
All right, there goes my mom. I can do this. And the kid was just not trying to be rude, but he wanted to do his part because his parents had the old school camcorder trying to hurry up and go to work to record it. So I was like, okay, after that he told me he wasn't trying to be rude. He was like, yo, my mom was trying to hurry up to go to work, man.
Oh,
okay,
okay.
I get it, but still, like, I folded.
Yeah. And it's kind of amazing how like what you say to a child at an early age can affect them. Like for me, I work in the school system, right? So I do security, but I don't look at it as I do one job.
Yeah.
I look at it as I'm somebody's big brother. I'm somebody's father figure. While I'm there getting paid, whatever I'm getting paid, at least I'm going to so and so somebody while I'm there. Or to give somebody advice, I'm never going to say, oh, you're retarded or you're this or you're that. You never know how that one word can be a trigger for the rest of someone's life. If I got to sow a seed to anybody at that, while I'm around anybody, I want to make sure that I'm sowing something positive. It's just amazing how, like, as a child, what you go through can shape, unfortunately, in some cases, what you go through in the future. So if you were being a father, I'm not a father yet, when we get married, I'm sure, like, when you get older, when they get older, you'll definitely instill that mindset of, I guess, being like in a better place than you was when you was a kid. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The overall goal is to try to make their life better than yours.
Yeah.
Because you want the best for them. Yeah. No.
Right.
No. Definitely that. Like even now, my daughter's 2, and I do like my wife and I do like a lot of reading.
Cool.
A lot of reading to her. Like obviously she's not going to get anything. Like a lot of it, she's still trying to learn how to pronounce some of the words.
Right.
And one day, so I decided to read this book about colors. It just teaches the kids the basics of color. So one day, after like a month of like just reading this book every day to her and doing it in different learning styles, we go for a walk around the park, and she stopped and she looked at the stop sign and she said, "Red." And I was just like, oh man, that's it.
Yeah.
The fact that now she's like, she knows what it was. She was so confident enough to know and point and identify that's red. And then when she saw a yellow sign, the yield sign, she's like, yellow? And I'm like, yo, this is dope.
Yeah,
this is what I want her to understand. Like, the confidence of using her voice and the power of her voice, because that, like, I understood a little bit of it, but I didn't know how much or how powerful my voice was.
Yeah, that's great. I'm sure that make you feel like real good.
Oh yeah. It makes you feel real good until she started talking back. Then I'm like, all right, not yet.
You're like, hold on,
not yet. Hold on.
Makes sense. It makes sense of just bringing putting that child into the right mindset. And speaking of right mindset, this involves my question to both of us pretty much. If you can go back to your 4th grade self, right? What advice would you give yourself when you were younger?
Honestly, I think the best advice I would give myself is the confidence. Like, it's okay to fail. It's okay to the baby steps. It's okay because those baby steps lead into major steps. So I think I would just be more like, hey, it's okay. Don't worry about it. We all go through those hurdles, those little stumbles. I think that's probably the best thing. What about yourself?
I feel like if I go back to my 4th grade self, I would tell myself, stop beating yourself up.
Yeah.
When I feel like at the time I was like my worst enemy in a sense. It's unfortunate that followed me up until always if I was like 25, 26. Like, stop beating yourself up. Like, you're fine. You're going to be amazing. If my 4th grade self can see what I'm doing right now, I'm like, okay. And I'm sure
it's not gonna be that bad. It's not gonna be that bad.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You telling me to hurry up?
Yeah.
Watch. So it's like it's not that bad. And it's like, imagine if we knew in high school how things would be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not that bad. And speaking of not that bad, just switching gears pretty much as far as like I went through a point of anger, right? When I was a kid, young adult, unfortunately, like having that ball of emotions, right? Ball of emotions. Let's talk about the importance of releasing your anger in a positive way or finding an outlet. Did you find an outlet in the midst of you battling depression and recovering?
Oh yeah, yeah. The biggest thing, because I used to play AA basketball, so the biggest thing, my outlet was basketball. Being able to play pretty much close to a very high level because of the circuit that I was in. I was playing against probably about 7 to 10 people who made it to the NBA.
Oh
So
wow.
that let me know I was in the ballpark.
Oh yeah.
And then people like around my way, like, yo, man, like, I still can't believe you didn't make it. Like, you was like the complete package. And being like that good and realizing like how good I am, not like on a cocky level, but like, oh, hey, this is a world that I can control. So that was something that I was so comfortable. Like, all right, I'm stressed out. I'm just going to go play basketball. Whether I drop 20 points or I drop 10 points, it was a world that I can control. I'm one of the people that like, I don't care about scoring. I'm mainly care about getting people involved. Why? Because everybody wants to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and be like, yo, isolation, I'm Kobe on the block. Like, I can be, but I chose not to because I know, like, yo, I'm opening, and you're like, yo, I ain't playing defense, man. This kid never passed the ball.
Yeah.
Being in that world and be like,
Yeah.
yo,
Yeah.
I'm good at that. That helped me do the outlet. Like, okay, cool. I'm gonna play basketball because I can control that. Because I can't control my emotions outside of that, but I can control whatever anger. Like if I was mad at my parents for say, I'll go out there and I'll ball out for about 4 hours, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not even
Yeah.
mad at them no more. I got all that frustration out because I ran it out and I won about 4 or 5 games, so I'm good, you know? What about yourself? Anything that you was like, okay, let me go do this, or this may work for me?
For me, it was a couple of things, right? I'm gonna say like 2010, I started going to the gym. Actually, my mom took me to the gym. She been into the gym since she was like 21. So, and she's like, let's go to the gym. I'm like, no, gym. What do that for? At the time, I didn't know. I go in the
Yeah.
gym. I got this baggy shirt on. Got this baggy sweatpants, and I'm walking around like maybe if I put my all into this, I would feel good about myself. So I started to work on myself. I started to hang around different people. I met my best friend. This guy looks like Bruce Leroy. Got 0% body fat. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
work out together. You know what I'm saying? And I told him,
Leroy.
yeah, he's actually the guy
Yeah.
I interviewed on the first episode, right?
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
best
I
friend.
seen him. I seen the first episode, yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, man, just wait to start losing weight, man. You're gonna get this, you're gonna get that, you're gonna get so much action. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Started to lose weight, and I realized I started to feel good about myself. Started getting that confidence. As a single male in his 20s, 23, 24, 25, I feel like I can have anybody I want.
Yeah.
And I started dating. I started doing this person, started dating that person. I was never a dog, which is good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I was single. I started to feel good about myself, right? But there was still a factor where I was angry. Okay, I'm lifting weights. What else can I do? My same best friend took me to martial arts. So now I got that discipline factor. So instead of, if I didn't have that, I feel like I'd be in jail somewhere, to be honest with you. Because as a man, as a black man, to be honest, being in this country, even back then, was still hard.
Yeah.
Carrying that
Yeah.
extra weight, carrying that extra anger, and gaining belts, gaining discipline. Learn how to control your emotions when you're upset. That helped a lot. So you got lifting weights, you got fitness, and that was like a major factor. Now, for me, I got fast forward to this year, right? And the hard truth was when the pandemic first happened, right? Again, I'm working 13, 12 hours a day. I didn't have this idea for uplifications then, to be honest. I had
Yeah.
a whole fitness company that I lost my passion with, and I was so frustrated to the point where me and my fiance are looking at a video from Sarah Jakes, and I feel like she was looking right at me, talking to me, like literally like this. And she
Yeah.
was saying, I know you lost your passion, but it's time to start over. And I felt like I was like, damn, what was that supposed to mean at the time? I was like, okay. So my fiance, she has a group for women, right? Doing amazing stuff with women, right? And I'm sitting on the side, she's doing interviews, right? I'm like, why ain't now for guys? Why you know, I want to uplift
Yeah.
somebody one day. It's crazy how you can say something out your mouth and the law of attraction will bring something in your mind, right?
Yeah. You got to speak
I
it
was
to
like,
existence.
guy was like, yeah, that's you. And I was like, okay, uplift king, let me just start this and start speaking out. So at this time during this pandemic, I got time to spend time with myself.
Yeah.
Not only having the physical aspect, the discipline aspect, having that freedom of knowing who you are. It's different to be in love with your wife, your fiance, but you have to be in love with yourself.
I tell people that all the time. And the most important
If
person
I'm
you
not,
have to love is
yeah,
yourself.
right, because if I'm not loving myself, I can't do her. I can't do her no good.
Yeah.
You know, I can't. And it's like I feel damn good about myself.
Yo,
You
yeah,
know,
of course.
and I'm sure
Of
you
course.
share the same aspect of how important self love is to you. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all about self-care. Um when I was in that dark place,
Hmm.
and learning some techniques, because when I was I had checked myself into like a mental hospital to because of this was like the first time in life I never felt comfortable in my own skin to a point where it's like, okay, for 3 nights in a row I try to harm myself,
Okay.
right? And then now like the one time when I thought like this was it, and I'm like, yo, I woke up, I'm gonna try to harm myself again tonight, and I'm gonna just like OD as much as I can. And to have my ex-girlfriend at the time, not my wife, to come in and like knock on the door, it was like, yeah, that's a sign right there, right? So I put myself in there and I try to get the help, and realizing like while I was there, okay, let me write and see what's wrong. And not realizing that the me writing, grabbing, they give you a journal to like draw, do whatever you want, and me writing out whatever emotions I had during that time. And I was like, yo, this is like self-care, man. This is therapeutic right here.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the guy that I was dealing with that was a psychiatrist who was running over the whole like facility, he was trash. Like, I'm not gonna lie. There's like we had a 2-minute conversation, and okay, he talked to me for 2 minutes. It wasn't even a conversation.
Oh, okay.
And he was trying to prescribe a drug. My wife is in the medical field, so I'm like, yo, what's this? And she was like, yo, don't take that. That's literally going to change who you are. And I'm like, okay. So, he kept trying to tell me to take it. And I'm like, no, I'm not taking it. It's like, I came here. I was like, you haven't had a conversation with me. You read what the nurse talked to me about, and you never like figured out who I was or what was the core problem. You literally put pen to paper and told me to take this. And then I said, no, I'm not taking that. Then you put
Yeah.
another pen to paper and told me to take this. And he's like, literally looked at me and said, you're not leaving this place until you take it. And I was like, yo, first of all, I volunteered myself in here. It's not like the cops came and was like, yo, he needs to be in here. It's like, it's a difference. Therefore, you guys are supposed to break me down for 3 days to see, do I really need to be here? Or is it just one of those like, yo, he just snapped, right? And I
Right.
told him, I said, I'm broken.
Mm-hmm.
I came here to be healed. You're not healing me with a drug.
Wow.
Once I said that and questioned his methods, he started insulting me. And when he started insulting me, it was like, do you understand these words that I'm using? I know you're from the Bronx. Or can your brain comprehend this? And I was like, okay. I was like, first of all, if you're trying to get an attitude out of me to show that I need this, because they put you in a jacket and throw you in a room or something like that.
Yeah, he trying
So I was like, I'm not going to do that. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm not going to do that. But I
Right.
was like, I'm going to tell you one thing though. If we wasn't in here, I guarantee you, if we was outside, you wouldn't have said that to me.
Right.
And he smiled and laughed. So, but while I was there, I was learning how much it was therapeutic and how much it was like self-love about just sharing my thoughts with the pen and paper and expressing myself. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, this is self-love. Nobody never taught me that. Like, this is okay. I can go play basketball. Like, it was like 20 minutes a day.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, okay, but I have this pen and pad with me, or pencil and pad with me for however long, and I could just write and share and I did a lot of that.
Yeah.
did a lot of that. And then while I was there, I met a lot of cool people who we all was there for the same reason. We just snapped because
Right.
nobody taught us how to express ourselves.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, once I learn how to heal, I'm going to start sharing my story because I don't, there's 20 of us and not everybody looked like me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was 4 girls and 10 guys. What does that say? So I was like, yo, clearly the guys don't know how to express themselves. The girls, they just had a moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I have to learn how to heal myself so I can help others. Like they say,
Yeah.
put their own oxygen mask on first before you help others.
That's deep. That's deep.
Yeah.
That's so deep. Speaking of guys like expressing themselves and as far as like emotions and how you feel, have you ever experienced a moment? It's a question both of us, of course, but have you experienced a moment where you, let's say you're in that moment of depression, you're still battling, right? Where you went out into ask for help from a person, whether it's your friend, whether it's anybody in particular, where you like, hey, I need help. Can you help me? And a person rejects you. Have you ever experienced that?
Oh yeah. I experienced that with some of my guy friends. I try to express myself with them, and they kind of like laughed at me, not in a sense like, yo, he's crazy. Like they laughed at me in the sense like, yeah, I don't know how to help my boy out.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yo, like I feel the same, but you know, I don't really know what to say to him because nobody's being an advocate for mental health during this time. Nobody's being an
Yeah, it was
advocate for
different back
going to
then.
see a therapist.
Yeah.
So what sucks is like all of us are coming from broken homes, right? Where our mom and dads are not together. So
Yeah.
it's like, yo, like their dads taught them the same thing and their moms like was there for them, but not in the sense of like, hey, you know, it's okay to show your emotions and be manly. So when I have 3 of my friends looking at me like, yo, I don't even know how to help my boy out, man. Yo, just keep your head up. You know, they was laughing like, yo, not like laughing like ha ha ha.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I
Like
get it.
yeah, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
oh man, like yo, I'm going through the same thing too, bro. I don't know what to say, you know, and that type of aspect.
And that's legit. Sometimes you don't know what to say, and it's like I can't heal you if I don't heal myself. And it's like I'm laughing, but I can't give you that. I've been
Yeah.
through that too, and I remember one day the same. You remember back in the day when they had like AOL Messenger.
Oh yeah. The dial
So
up,
I had a
yeah.
I
What is
had
it?
never
Age,
I never
sex,
forget.
location.
Yeah, so like the video.
Yeah.
Take going back on this one.
Yeah.
So they had like the video message, right? And I had like a long distance relationship, right? And at the time, I'm expressing myself to my girlfriend at the time, right? I'm in tears to the point where like this is my last hope. So I'm thinking like, I'm like, hey, I'm going through this problem. I didn't know it was depression though.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. There's always this feeling of feeling sad, and it was always like a black cloud following me where I went. So I'm trying to express myself. I'm in tears. I feel like killing myself and don't want to be here no more. Like, can you help me? I got tears coming down my face and all this. I'm just bawling. It's the ugly cry. Like, it's
Yeah.
the ugly cry. And so she's looking at me. She pauses for like 10 seconds, like, I could laugh. And that was like the biggest knife in my heart and just turned it in a sense of like now I felt like after that, I feel like I can't express myself.
Yeah.
You know, I can't go to I can't go to nobody. And for a man, that's scary.
Because you're
You
supposed
feel
to be my
like,
rock.
yeah, you're supposed to be my
Yeah.
rock and all this,
Yeah. You're
and
supposed to hold me down.
the time, and the same week, I found out you're cheating on me. So it's like,
Oh yeah.
oh, it's like, so you get that,
There goes the signs right there saying that you wasn't meant for me.
yeah. I think God was like, what you
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah.
So
This is an angel in disguise, bro. I'm trying to help you out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sure the playing guy's going through the exact same problem, but probably with FaceTime. But
Yeah.
so it's like then I like and that now it's like a lot of my guy cousins and friends are like, why you didn't express? Why you didn't seem how you feel? I couldn't. And it may sound crazy, but at the time I was like, I don't know how to express myself because I don't have a father in my life at the time. You know, I got
Yeah,
my
for sure.
mom, and I love my mom to death. She did an amazing job on me.
But it's only one parent can only do so much.
I want to bring it so much. It's
Yeah.
certain tools that a man can give you, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
because you gotta have that balance of being who you are, and it just I don't know how
Yeah.
to balance that out, you know.
Yeah.
And for me, that was scary.
And
Cause
this is
now,
before you started taking up martial arts.
way before I started
Okay,
martial
so
arts in
yeah.
2010. This is like 2008.
Okay. So
So this
yeah,
is
so
like
you didn't
2 years.
understand the
I didn't
discipline or
understand
how
what
to
it was.
separate. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know how to understand how to separate it. You know, I was always angry and then always just feeling like at the time also I didn't have no career goals, you know? So imagine like you got no career goals for yourself, you're working in a fast food place, your
Yep.
girlfriend cheating on you, you're expressing yourself. It's like, why am I here again?
I'm all lost. Like I don't even know where to start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So
No, I definitely get it.
that is scary. And it's and to the point now where my dad, we got the great relationship to the
Okay.
point where I'm going to interview him and have a father-son talk about
That's
healing,
good. That's good.
you know.
That's
And
good.
I remember one day, right, I had my first speaking opportunity on stage in front of an audience, and my dad was going to be there, but he had to work, right? So this is last year, last November, and he didn't make it. He called me afterwards. I'm in the car, right, and these are the words that I always wanted to hear from my father, right? And he's like, "Son, I'm proud of you. Son, I love you." And he lives like, let's say 30 minutes from me, right? I'm getting home in the parking lot. I'm in the car with my mom and my fiance, right? I'm feeling good. But my dad was like, I'm coming by to give you a hug. And now my 33 years of living, I never had that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know what it's like to hug my father.
Yeah.
You know, he came by, gave
And
me
a
a hug,
sense of encouragement. Yeah.
this of
Yeah.
encouragement. And at that moment, I started to understand like how the importance of a male relationship, a male saying, hey, bro, I'm just checking on you. How you feeling? Or hey, like my best friend's like, yo, bro, I love you. And
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
most guys are like, hey, no, it ain't.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Like
saying?
I do it with my cousins, my
Yeah.
friends. I call them
Uh-huh.
bros, and I'm like, yo, bro, I love y'all, man. I'm just checking in. Y'all good? All right, cool. And they understand, like, oh, okay. He making sure, like, mentally I'm good. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely get it. So my father and I, we bumped heads a lot
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of the frustration I had on him, like my sister had died with cancer, so it was like we was kind of close, but never really close. Like I know like I was depressed, and I was like, yo, there's something wrong with my dad because I'm starting to see him like drink a lot more. So when I called him out on it, no guy likes to be called out on.
No.
Hey, something up. What's up? What's up with that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So we started bumping heads a lot. And then when I got to a place of like, once I started becoming an adult, and I told him like, yo, look, because of the way y'all raised me and me not controlling my emotions, I try to kill myself a few times. And he like not even like, hey, why? He like exploded on me, right?
Oh wow.
So I was like, okay, cool. I you have a right to feel mad, I guess, if you want to, but hear me out. And
Yeah.
then when I try to call him out on it, and tell him, he's like, what about this and this and this? And I was like, oh, okay. So I've been out in Tampa for about 8 years. How many times you came to visit me?
Mm-hmm.
I got to work. And I said, okay. And I set an example. I was like, okay, so what about the time we booked a day for you to come down? I took off work for the entire week so you could come kick it with me. But instead, you kicked it with some chick that you're not even hanging out with anymore. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
how do you think I feel mentally about that? And he was like, yo, but you always gonna be here, yada. And I'm like, that's the mindset that's wrong. God forbid I could go in the car, and accident and I'm dead. Or God forbid, like, you just never know. Tomorrow's
Yeah.
not
Right.
promised. Is what
Mm-hmm.
essentially I was trying to tell him. So I was like, at some point in life, you're gonna get older. And you're gonna look back and be like, damn, I wish I spent more time with my son.
Yeah.
Fast forward, so like, we try to work it out. I'm trying to like be calm and cool. And it's just like, you know what? You're toxic for me. So I just stopped talking to him for a whole year. So he's like texting, calling, and I'm just not picking up, right? And And he's like, yo, like, yo, you got a daughter. I just want to see what's up, yada, yada, yada. Like, and I'm just not responding because I was like, the energy that you're providing around me is toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, the way you treated me, I'm not going to allow you to treat my daughter like that, nor my wife. I went through a lot for my 30 plus years with you.
Mm-hmm.
My child doesn't deserve this. My wife doesn't deserve this. So after the year, I decided to call him after Kobe. Once Kobe had died in a plane crash, right? Because we relate to basketball very well, him and I. And I was like, you know what? Kobe's the perfect example of like nothing's promised. So we talked and we had an adult conversation. And he was like, I'm sorry for the way I treated you. Can I see my granddaughter? I want to see this and this and that. He's like, but you know, I'm gonna try to come down in March. And COVID happened. So I said, well, Dad, you can't come down. But you know, like cell phones, they created FaceTime now. So now we try to FaceTime. We try to walk and talk with everything, like, you know, our relationship. Now he understands the importance of, damn, my son is right. Tomorrow's not promised. Because my son just blocked me out like that. So it does help. And then afterwards, like he found out like my wife is pregnant and he's just like, yeah, I see you doing these videos and these posts every day. And you're telling your story and you're touching guys in a way that I never seen like some guys. He shared like one of my things and one of his friends was like, man, I was going through this today, man. Your son is so good.
Wow.
And this guy's older than me, obviously. And like 20 something years older than me. And he's like, yo, man, I wish somebody was like that in my life. And I was like, yo, you see? All guys are like, doesn't matter what age it is, it's the way that we're raising people and the influence that we have on males. So it's like, yo, you can still be manly and vulnerable. I tell people that all the time. It doesn't make you weak.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to hear that, man. And my dad had called me and just like, yo, son, I'm proud of you.
Yeah,
Touching people's in a way.
Then that feel good though.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like it was like, wow, you know, he missed a lot of my AAU games. And for him to be like, yo, I'm proud of you for this. Like, you're a better man than me. Like, you're married, you have kids, not like multiple kids from different women. Like, you have a family. You're setting the prime example for a male to like, yo, it can happen.
That's gotta feel great because my dad told me.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember when I was like 20, 25, 26, I told him I forgive you. And he told me recently, he's like, you told me you forgive me, like that's the best birthday, Christmas gift I've ever gotten. And to this day, like every time I text him, he call me. to this day, we're supposed to hang out today, matter of fact, and I realized like how important that is. You know, just like when I have kids, I'm gonna instill the love that I never gotten from a male.
Yeah.
You know how important
I'm heavy
that is.
on telling my kids every day,
Yeah.
every night, I love you.
Yeah.
Even when they're driving me nuts, I'm like, I still love you. I still love you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's so important just to have that male love, you know, and we do need love. You know, we need that escape. We need to express ourselves. And it's like, for me recently,
because we're human.
Like, we're human. And that's something my fiance told me because we first got together, right? We've been together 3 years. And I had like 2 major deaths in the family. My grandmother, my aunt, like back to back.
Oh, grandma is like the hardest one, man.
Grandma still.
That's the glue of the family. That's like the glue of everybody's family.
Yeah, and that still hurts. And she wasn't even my girlfriend. We were just friends. And she called me every single day to see how I was doing, right? And remember, in the beginning of we was talking, I said how I expressed myself was crying to another female and how I was feeling. So we on FaceTime. And she goes, how you feeling? I said, I'm okay. I'm trying to shrug it off.
Yeah.
I'm trying to not look her in the eye and like, I'm good.
Yeah.
She goes, no, shit, look at me. I'm like, yeah, look at me. She says, it's okay, you cry. It's okay. And it may be a basic sentence, but that should help. And that's when I realized, like, it's okay for us to be males. We can still be in our feelings, express ourselves, and still be that man, that king. You know what I'm saying?
Especially from the opposite sex.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. It's a relief.
Yes.
It's a relief. It's like, yo, I don't have to carry this elephant on my chest anymore, my shoulders. Like, it's a relief.
Yes. And she told me, she said, if you feel like you're on 0% and you're crying, I don't care what spent times where I've been like grieving my grandma. She'd be like, "Come in,
Yeah.
come in,"
Yeah.
and I wasn't used to that. You know, that's very important for any guy who's listening to this interview and thinking like, nah, I gotta be. Oh,
Yeah.
it's okay. Matter of fact, if you hear that from your woman, you got you a good one.
Yeah. She a keeper.
She a keeper.
She a keeper.
You got
It's
you.
so hard. When I was single, mingling, doing my thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like some girls could tell, like, hey, yo, you okay? You just need a moment to yourself. And I'm like, yeah, I need a moment. And then I probably had maybe one out of all the little girls I was dealing with, or during that time,
Yeah.
and that was like, yo, it's okay to show some emotions. You don't have to be so hard on yourself. You don't have to be so like strong and mighty. And I was just like, okay. Like I only heard that from like one other girl, and that was like my ex, who is now my wife. But I was just like, out of all the other little girls I was dealing with during that time, during my college phase, I'll call it, I was like, wow, I never heard someone say it in that manner.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. And it was so weird to hear that. And then she was saying like to me, because she came from where her family was together. Okay. Like her mom and dad lived together. They was in a great marriage. And as I said earlier, like my parents wasn't, it was like, I see dad on the weekends, I'm chilling with mom during the week, doing the whole school thing. So I never really saw that. And I was like, weird for me. I was like, wait, hold on. This is normal for you to like, she's like, yeah, my mom tells my dad all this and that. And I was just like, maybe because it's like, where I'm from, I just never seen that. And she was like, no, it's okay to express yourself. It's okay to do that. Like it's fine. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, cool. What I did, cut her off. I was like, yo, this is weird. I was like, oh,
you don't understand it. Yeah.
I was like, yo, all right, we're done. Like this is over.
Yeah.
Like, yo, was it something I said? And I was just like, because I did not know how to respond to that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's like she was like black or whatever, and it was just like, okay, all right, this is too much for me. I'm out. But I think now, like, being mature enough now and understanding like the importance of expressing yourself and having someone that's in your corner that's saying it's fine is like a relief. Yeah,
that's the greatest feeling in the world. And having someone in your corner, like, no matter what, we here, we tight, you know what I'm saying? And man, like having that glue that holds you together pretty much. So my last question is, before we go, man, both of us. If let's say there's a man who's watching this video on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, and they're like battling depression, they're battling suicide, they feel like it's not okay to express themselves. What advice would you give that person?
I would give them the same advice I gave myself. Reach out to the person who you feel like you can connect with the most.
Yeah.
Not on some like, oh, they make me feel good, but on some, if I call them, they're going to tell me the truth. It's going to hurt, but they're going to tell me the truth where I need to hear. Mm-hmm. Sometimes like my mindset was like, yo, I'm going to reach out to this person because they're always going to root for me. They ain't going to be too hard on me. Instead, like, I reached out to my ex-girlfriend who she didn't have to like really be there. She could have just been like, all right, well, you figure this out. But I expressed myself and how I was during that mindset. And she told me the things that I needed to hear. She was like, hey, why don't you just call the suicide hotline, see if they can help you out. I never even thought about that. Yeah. And then she's like, hey, let's go find a way for you to get help. Mm-hmm. That was the most important thing. And I think that's something that I try to tell everyone. Like, if you're really going through something, speak to someone who's going to provide what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
That is.
What about yourself?
For anybody who's watched this video and you're scrolling through it and this happens to catch your attention, and we pray that it will, and let's say you're going through depression, you feel like it's hopeless. You feel like you want to give up. You feel like no one in your corner, pretty much. And you feel like as a man, it's not okay to talk about your feelings. I'm talking to whoever's looking at this interview, and let's just say it's okay to not be okay. What I mean is, first, identify with your feelings. Identify what's causing the problem. Identify where it's coming from. Identify with your emotions. Secondly, I would say, like you just said, somebody you trust, reach out to them. Somebody you trust, somebody that won't judge you, somebody that won't laugh at you, whether it's a male or female, aunt, whatever, uncle, whatever the case may be. Somebody you trust. And listen to someone who you can trust, someone who'd rather hear you vent than attend your funeral looking sad.
Say it again. Yeah.
And and the harsh truth is, some people will really laugh at your story and then cry at your funeral. And you're here for a reason. Whoever is seeing this interview, it's okay to talk about your feelings. It's okay to, that word man up, be throwing it out the window forever.
Yeah. Doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. You are a man, you are a king, walk with your head up high. And
well said. Well said.
I want to say thank you, brother. We definitely
thank you, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, man.
I feel like it's gonna be a monthly series going on, me and you, because we're so serious.
Yeah, I told you I'm all open for it, man, because I'm all about sending messages to people. Like, yo, like even if you're not a guy and you're listening to this, it's okay, like, to really express yourself, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, simple as that. Like, yeah, it's okay to not be okay, and identifying that too. That's key. It's like, oh, something's wrong with me.
So before we go, let people know where to find you on your Instagram, Facebook, whatever you got going on.
Got you. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at HBMack, M-A-C-K. I post pretty much every day. The only day I don't post is Sunday. I believe in everybody having their mental day, and Sunday is my mental day with the fam. So you can catch me. I try to provide enough content. Some days I feel like I don't, but
no, you do.
You know,
great content.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I've already posted three times a day, man. I need to post more, but you know what? Appreciate it, man. But yeah, you can always find me on Facebook, Instagram, and I probably have some other stuff in the works by the time this comes out. But yeah, man, as I always said, man, I appreciate you having me up on here, Craig.
Thank you, no problem. Anybody that's looking for where to find me, my personal page is He Is Dark Superman. That is my alter ego. I'm in the gym and lifting weights. It's more of fitness and motivation kind of mixed together. For Uplift Kings, it's called Let's Uplift Kings on Instagram. Uplift Kings podcast is every Sunday. You will see a new video. Every Wednesday, you'll see a new video of a guy speaking to you or whoever needs advice. The idea is to provide advice for people all over the world who look like us and don't look like us, and not the same age or older. So feel free to reach out to both of us. You're definitely going to see our faces over and over again. I promise you that. So much.